My name is Johnny Schillereff, and I've been coming to Liberty for almost 8 years. When I was in high school, I was actually kicked out of my house, and I had to live on people's couches and in the streets. And I graduated from high school my senior year, basically living on the streets. Most people thought that I was going to become nothing. And so I made it a point to graduate from high school out of almost spite. It led to me, I suppose, to a certain degree, really working hard to try to live a successful life. I grew up in a really toxic, dysfunctional world, lifetime, that I always needed something bigger than me to follow in order to keep me from going down the dark path or the wrong way. Spirituality and God and Mother Nature, the natural world, became the obvious solution. And skateboarding randomly as like my little vehicle to like chase all that stuff and sort of roll through the world became almost like the platform for me to, one, carry all that with me and have a successful life as a businessman, as a leader in the community, and all these different things. I needed some place to like put it. And that became Judaism in the beginning, where I was like able to say I'm a Jew. And then being Jewish led me to like really understanding the Old Testament, which then led me to realizing there could be another chapter to that. With that came wanting to put my children in a place to where they could hopefully have the same values that I wanted so badly. And so how do I give my kids something I never had? And that became schools with religion in them, which then led me to this, to Liberty. We had sent our children to Temple Bat Yam, and then they went to Harbor Day, and then our son went to public school, which we weren't that excited about. So with that, Corey was driving down the road, and she actually had seen the school from a distance and always kind of wondered what it was about. So she just got the urge one day and just pulled over randomly, spontaneously, and just drove up to the school. And there was Mr. Cyprian greeting her in the parking lot. And his energy and the school's vibe that day was contagious for my wife. And really, she just was very excited about how she felt about the school, the vibe, and just how warming it was. And almost on the fly, within days, hours, she had signed up our son to go to school here when he was in 5th grade. I actually felt almost obligated to be part of the church and just come and show my respect. I mean, I really felt like Pastor Ryan says, I was a consumer, especially as a parent. So I started going to the sermons, or I went to one, and then one led to two, and the next thing you know, I was just like hooked on coming to church. Ultimately, our spiritual journey began kind of almost to the next level. All my life, I always believed in Jesus. I did think that Jesus was real, along with other prophets like Moses or Mother Theresa. These people are incredible. Martin Luther King. I had these like idols. And that became like this journey into reading more, into understanding those religions more. And then slowly but surely, it just started leading into like Jesus. And that's when I started saying, no. The ultimate role model, the ultimate person to walk in their footsteps, for sure, is Jesus. And that was like this, it took a long time to like start realizing, almost like interviews. You're just like, who's the candidate? And let's go through the interview process. And you're slowly narrowing it down through true knowledge and experience of like, who's your number one pick. And then when I came here to church, I started realizing like, hold on a minute. I knew it was Jesus, like when I started coming here. I already kind of worked that out through having come here for so many years. I had definitely realized that it was Jesus, but it wasn't like overnight. It just wasn't. But then I think the thing that's really funny, I was thinking about it when I was coming here today, when you break it down to like the most raw form, it's just about Jesus and making sure you are as close to him as you can possibly be. And that's like how Jesus came into my life. Every time people, at the end of the ceremony, it's, give your life to Jesus and believe in Jesus and put your hand up, and you kind of like, I want to look around the room and see who else is doing it. And I kind of like in my mind had already done it like probably a dozen times. But then when Tim came, there were so many things that he was saying that like I just thought was fabulous, and I just said, I'm going to do it today. And so I put my hand up and I went to the front, and that was the day that I put it on record. This is a public display. It's a way to, given everything I've been through in my life, putting it on my chest, wearing it on my sleeve, not being passive about that. So that's why I chose to be baptized here with Pastor Ryan, with Liberty, with Newport Christian.